Spiritual doves are flying in the rafters. They come as points of light from the heart of the Mahachohan, white and fluffy, carrying in their beaks flame flowers as greeting from the abode of the Bodhisattvas. For there I am, keeping the flame of Gautama Buddha, and here I am, keeping the flame of the Buddha of your heart, who is to become the one who is the bearer of the seed of light, even of Alpha. Meditate then, beloved, upon the most beautiful light of the Buddha meditating within your heart. Your heart is not only the abode of the Buddha, as the Eastern and the Western Shambhala of the inner retreat. Your heart is a fiery galaxy where angels meet to contemplate the mystery of the Word. Thus, all inside there, in the inner retreat, is the unfolding of mercy's flame flowers, and from heaven, roses and bowers of light. For this is truly the harvest of love, as it is the harvest of the year in Serapis Bey's dispensation, of the third ray and the pink flame, and the acceleration of the ruby blood of Christ by the white fire purity of his mystical body in the ascension mode. White fire purity expanding God's love. And behold, what miracles of Kuan Yin may come to pass in your life. I thought that you would appreciate the story told, and that you would have a new perception of the flow of your own garment of the soul into every walk and way of life, a new understanding of the heartbeat of God in every part and particle of being. I thought, too, there might come to view, at least within your soul and the etheric memory of your heart, O fiery heart, a remembrance of your own long journey, and perhaps an inkling of why you have tarried so long. For you see, the song, the ancient song of the Bodhisattva of mercy, is the sounding of a light ray that says, you cannot balance your karma with certain life streams until you have the attainment of the light to extend to them that grace, that love of life, of which you have deprived them in other centuries and millennia. It is not merely to encounter one whom you have wronged. It is to encounter that one with a song of mercy, with the understanding of the mantle of Avalokiteshvara, descending into the depths of darkness to find the soul of light that has fallen, perhaps by the neglect of some son of God. The Amitabha Buddha even would, if he could, go after the lost karma in the lost souls in your behalf. Do you know that even now Bodhisattvas of the East at inner levels are gathered round the great Lord Gautama, Lord of the world, asking for dispensations to uncover those life streams whom you must encounter, whether directly, heart to heart, or indirectly by your service to the great white brotherhood. They would uncover souls for you. They would be one with you, these bodhisattvas of the flame. They would provide for you the encounter, perhaps at the place of great encounters, with those specific life streams. Perhaps they have not changed in long, long centuries, but what is important is that you have changed, not for the sake of mere change, but for the path of attainment. Discover then a new reason for God mastery, and realize the teaching of Saint Germain, that the balancing of karma through service and the violet flame may not necessarily provide you with the equivalent attainment or God mastery toward which you aspire. What I am saying is that it is possible for you to balance some karma and yet to be wanting or lacking in the mastery of your own energy. Therefore, we present to you in full view in this conference, we of the Karmic Board, that the sine wave to the sun must be won by those who now will seize their own God mastery and stand with the line of Jesus Christ. The mastery of the dispensations and initiations of the hierarchy of Pisces is most essential. The mastery of fear and doubt, the mastery of little irritations and great, that suffer then the breaking of a tender coil of light, the mastery of discordant manifestations that allow the slowing of your momentum of zeal and of God victory. This is what we would see. It is for you to heal and to be healed. By your own sense of wholeness and the love of the wholeness of Alpha and Omega, whereby you will not leave that perch of the doves of the Spirit, that perch of God harmony. See, it is high in the realm of your own God self. If you would trade it for a moment of irritation, impatience, or intolerance, you will descend swiftly from etheric octaves where you too can fly with us day by day in daily consciousness and experience, and you will find yourself weakened, impoverished of true light, and once again in a slower frequency whereby you cannot mount the sine wave to the sun, that sine wave truly being a frequency of light contained within the crystal cord of your own life stream. Thus I reveal to you the infinity of the sine wave of your being and the power of acceleration by mercy's flame. Thus, to drop the torch of mercy's love is to estrange yourself from my aura and from my garment. It is to lose ground already gained and won. It is to have to start again to mount unto the sun. Precious hearts, I remind you of the peace of the precious Guru, Padmasambhava. I remind you of the saints of the East who are counting upon you to establish the inner retreat and maintain there the flame of harmony that can become a magnet of the central sun, not alone for ascended masters, but for all of those devotees of light out of the East who must come to know the mother flame in the West. A magnet also for those beings on all scales of hierarchy and consciousness who are beneath the mud at the bottom of the streams and the lakes, there, as it were, in the astral plane, there, individuals with whom you have yet a karmic tie. We would that the harmony of life within your being might quiver as a mighty bow of light, and that that bow of light, as a quivering sound of the cooing of the doves, might woo to your heart and to your home this or that life stream for the paying of the debt, for the rendering unto wholeness, for the extension of a miracle of your own causal body and electronic presence that will come upon that one, even as it came upon the one who was called the second mother, the one in line to become the mother, if she would but conquer the consciousness of the great whore. Dear hearts, realize that even in this hour, after the pattern of Lord Gautama Buddha, there are threads of light extending from your heart. These are karmic threads, and they are tied by the very knot of karma to every part of life to whom you are indebted, for you see the great law demands a certain flow of your energy to those life streams. Now you can see that if they are below in a fallen state of consciousness, that contact becomes an open door whereby, because of that karma which you have made before, they are able then to pull upon that cord and milk from you the very essence of the mother's love, the very essence of your light. There are days when you feel drained. Recognize that there are many causes at many levels, from psychotronic energy to human hatred, to the beamings of the Nephilim from their spacecraft. But also there is that pull of life streams whose chalice you must yet fill with love and light, but can only quite fulfill it all when you have the attainment that begins with God harmony and ends with the conquering of all that is unreal under the Pisces dispensation. I tell you, the Lord Jesus Christ remained in our temple in meditation upon the ultimate light of mercy and grace, for he came to give the seed of Sanat Kumara the means of God mastery, for it and it alone can result in your freedom from these ancient ties. Understand my message well. Out of mercy's heart I speak, that it does not suffice to decree and decree again, nor to serve and serve again. The goal of God mastery is the path, and you know it well. It begins in the feeling body and in the desires of heart and mind and soul. It begins in the emotions and the conquering of all energy flow. Let us go back then to the cause and core of the gremlins of the mind, hopping up and down and disturbing the force field of your peace, as though they would jump upon the trampoline of your own desire body, so easily flexed by this and that point of irritation. Irritation is the deadly enemy of the Chila on the path, so much so that I have instructed your messenger and my own to deliver to you a lecture on the very subject of how itself this irritation does invade the emotional body and there cause and precipitate into the physical manifestation every manner of disease itself. Why even harmful foods you eat would not have the deleterious effect that they do were you to maintain the high frequency of harmony which I set before you as goal of mastery on the path, as necessary for the founding and the building of the inner retreat, and even a new civilization. You see you may be at harmony with yourself, but that harmony may have no thrust, no intensity of light. That harmony may simply be a human comfortability that has the capacity to give forth good feelings and the milk of human kindness. Enter then a Christed one with greater light than your own, and you see how that light penetrates the aura, and suddenly you feel friction and all sorts of disagreeing inharmonies of your being. And there is a pricking of the aura, and you blame it upon that Christed one and wish that he would go away. But in fact, it is a revelation to you that the harmony that you held as some mark of personal achievement was not harmony at all, but merely the getting along of yourself with yourself in all of its human miscreation. And after all, there are those birds of a feather who flock together, who are not spiritual birds of light, but astral fowls, who often create the fowls of life that cause you to be out of the game, out of the field of initiation, required to begin all over again when you just were about to seize a higher spiral of harmony by God control of mouth and word and feeling and all those things upon which you have been God taught for so long. As I meditated with the goddess of wisdom before coming to speak to you, and with the lords of karma who are most concerned for the protection of our chelas and their advancement on the path, beloved Theosophia said to me, why not give them in this hour of illumination's expansion this illuminating word on why it is necessary to pursue God mastery with striving as the parallel line to the daily balancing of karma. Do not then confuse balancing of karma with God mastery, except when you pass beyond the 51%, and only by God mastery can you meet and conquer those foes that come out of the very pit itself, out of the depths of Hades and across the astral skies. Blessed hearts, step by step, the flame of God mastery is won. But I will tell you a key that is on the mercy ray as a twin flame flower to this illuminating discourse. The key to mastery of the low-grade levels of irritation in your life is love. A love so great, a love whose contact is so real, with me for one, with God where I am, with every ascended sun. A love so great that you cannot leave the bliss of our oneness to go out into the dark night of astral discord, or the irritation that is the grating of the discarnates and demons. Love, then, is the conquering of the path, an effulgent, overflowing mercy for all life. This is not mercy with evil or the evildoer. It is always mercy for the light locked in the very atoms of being everywhere. Mercy for God imprisoned by human hate and hate creation. You can love God so much at the very center of each part of life that you remain unconcerned by the most outrageous manifestations of anti-life and anti-God. They are all around you. I need not remind you of the betrayers of our flame, but only to show you that it is the better part of wisdom not to play their game, not to meet them on their field of discord and briars and barbed wire and land that is mined, waiting to trap those whose misplaced courage places them on the field where they ought not to be, but instead let them be directed to the heart of Shambhala, to the heart of the inner retreat. Let mercy exalt you. Let mercy's flame exalt all of the earth and her evolutions out of the very pall of bitterness, out of unreality that shall not endure. I, Kuan Yin, stand at the door of the sanctuary. I stand at the door of life and at the door of the heart of everyone who has ever or shall ever come in contact with our messenger. And I say, pass through me if you will, for if you will it, you will be washed by mercy's flame until all that remains in view of you in heaven or on earth will be the essence of God, reality. I am Kuan Yin, and I choose to lower my vibration to the very levels of the desire body and the place of the sun, where the sun of Helios and Vesta ought to shine from you in perfect peace. Let the solar plexus now release every foul and unclean thing into the intensity of the violet flame which I bring from all of the retreats of the Great White Brotherhood and the heart of Omritas. Now then feel the purging and the clearing, the washing and the wholeness. Let the place of the sun as the point of mastery of Jesus Christ and Gautama Buddha be in you, whereby the astral plane itself will dry up by the sacred fire you release and be swept away by the movement of the waters of the Word. O crystal starlight in causal bodies of my beloved, be lowered now, and let the crystal fire mist reveal doves of the Spirit who coo and fly and tenderly reveal the heart of God. I am come to steal from you that which you would most let go of. I trust it is this tendency toward impatience, irritation, and discord of every kind. Without these burdens, come, let us fly. Let us fly to the sun, O my beloved. Let us fly and be together one, all one.